Alrighty, welcome to Ellis Mowers. And a while back, this is near the end of March. Y'all won't see this video until May, but right now it is crazy in terms of trying to get things fixed and sold. Everything I'm fixing is going out the door basically immediately. Backstory on these is a twin. They're, you can call them twins, but you know, two Bolens basic push mowers, about 10 years removed from each other. I got these. I sold a standard wheel Murray Walmart customer return push mower. I got these two mowers plus $80. So I think I worked out all right. It's starting to rain a little bit here at the time of filming, but let's do the worst looking one first. It's got the Briggs classic style. Just move it in the garage a little bit for us. Both of them are Briggs engines. One of them's got the old classic, and one of them's got the new overhead valve. And a couple videos back, I actually did a comparison between the classic style, the overhead valve, or the old classic style, the new overhead valves, and then I also threw the quantum motor in there too. I don't have a quantum sitting in the garage at the moment. Sold that mower. Start with the worst one here. This one's the 22-inch classic 158cc 500 series. Look at the difference in the cc's between the two mowers. 125 on this one and 158 on this one. You tell me which one's gonna make more power. Do just a diagnosis here. The deck is caked in grass. Blade's got some chips in it. We'll grind those out with the blade sharpener. 22-inch push mower. The air filter's actually in good shape too. He said he had been through the carburetor on this. He said both of them obviously are not starting at this point. And then he just finally gave up after, I guess, the second try. It will need an oil change. That's pretty standard. And this mower, if I can show y'all, I believe was built in 2008. I can tell by the engine. Yeah, so 08, 2008, July 14th on the type. I don't know if y'all can see that with the way that the light is, but it's 2008 model. And here is its cousin, 10 years removed, I guess. This is a 20-inch deck, just a basic 450E 125cc. He said he accidentally left this one out in the rain. Air filter's good, and it won't start, so this has probably got either some little bit of gunk in the carb, because it's got the plastic carb on it, or it's just got a little bit of water in it, or I might just be able to throw some starting fluid in it. It might smoke for a little bit, but it might crank up. You never know. 20-inch blade. The deck's in good shape on this. The blade is relatively sharp. Let me check the other side here. Gosh, I'm not even going to touch that blade. It's sharp. Plenty sharp as it is. Gas smells okay. This one is manufactured 2016, yeah. So, and more specifically, if we look on this side of it, date of manufacture 5/17/16 is what it says on the side. So we're going to do a twofer on this one, because these should be easy fixes, and hopefully they'll be day turns. I would love to get these things in and out, if not tomorrow, by the end of the week. Kind of in the middle of my work week, so I have limited availability, and we've had a little bit of rain. But I tell you what, when the weather warms up by the end of this week, at the time of filming, it's going to be on. So let me drag some other projects out of the way so I can get my little electronics cart over here. And we'll get this little 20-inch on the bench after I grab some starting fluid and a clamp, see if we can just try and start it as it is and maybe clear some of the water and stuff out of it. Let's just see what we can do. Alright, so I'm just gonna find some starting fluid and a clip, and let's see if we can get this thing started. Sometimes, the reason why I say that is sometimes it gets a little bit of oil caught up in the plug area, in the cylinder, and in the exhaust, and it'll sometimes foul the plug up and just needs a little bit of encouragement to start. So let's see what we got. First off, I'll try without anything. It's trying. It's got good oil in it. I was getting a false reading there for a second. So it wanted to try when I primed the mess out of it there the first couple times. It almost sounded like it was bucking a little bit. So I wonder if it's just got some crud in it. It's trying. Let me throw some start fluid in. So, just from judging and doing about 200 of these, I think his assessment is right. Because you pop starting fluid in there and you could be like, yeah, it's not getting any spark. But you can hear it trying to go, usually on that last revolution. So, what we're likely going to find is water in the bowl. It might be a little water in the tank. These are notoriously bad for doing this. Notoriously bad. So, let me grab my electronics cart. We'll get it up on there. We'll take those two bowl nuts off. We won't even worry about taking the carb off of this thing. We'll just take those two bowl nuts off the bottom. 7 millimeters. See what our gas looks like, and then we will go from there. Okay, so what we're going to do here is clamp off the fuel line first. Let me find my fuel clamps, fuel pliers real quick. Just clamp off your fuel line over here with some of these. Or if you have fuel line pliers, you can use them too, it don't matter. 7 millimeters what you need. We're just going to take the two bowl nuts off the bottom and I need to find a wrench. So let me get a 7mm wrench. Depending on the deck that you have, you might be able to use a ratchet and a socket, which I can use on this side. But you're gonna have 2 bowl nuts on the bottom here. Ratchet there. So you're going to have 2 bowl nuts on the bottom. One's back here in the back. They're a little tricky to get on the mower, but it saves you from having to take the carb off of the mower. So in my opinion, to me, it's worth doing it. Just because a lot of times they just need like a drain or a quick clean or something of that nature. And so you just take this off, and remember it's plastic into plastic, so whenever you put them back in, be sure to be very, very careful. I'm going to find a 7mm for this one. You're going to take this front bowl off, and then I usually just take the bottom of my 1/4 inch ratchet and just pop it off. And I'll rejoin you when I get the second bolt off, and then we'll pop this carb bowl off and see if we got any water in it. Alright, so 7mm regular wrench. Turn it the other way, silly. There we go. And still, I think this is a much easier way to go about doing this than potentially going the other way of taking the carb off. And for y'all, especially for those that are trying to do this yourself, risk less chance of messing something up too. So I'm just trying to help everybody out when it comes to this. I've done almost 200 of these things through Walmart customer returns, so I've in essence got this thing down to a science. There we go. Let's see what the carb bowl looks like. This is a lot tighter fit than on the other ones. Spilling gas all over everywhere. Yeah, I can see water in the bottom of this carburetor. I don't know if there's enough light for y'all to see it. But I can see little spritz of water and just trash and debris and stuff in the bottom of this carburetor. You'll see the water. Well, maybe not so much water, but we do have a little bit of crud floating in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down, and then we'll take a look at the main jet to see if it's clogged. And I'll catch up with y'all on that in just a second. So let me see if I can get a light over here for y'all. That works. Down here on the bottom, if you lift this float up, there's the main jet. The main jet looks clear on it. It does smell like it has a little bit of water in the fuel. I think we can get, with cleaning the bowl out, I think we can get past that. Somebody's been in this carburetor before, because that screw right there has been replaced. Somebody put the 5/6, these are supposed to be the 7mm. Somebody put a 5/16 down here and realized that the 7mm didn't work, so they put a screw in there. How about that? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a wire, just feed it through that main jet that I just showed you, just to make sure that we have clearance. And we do. Again, this is kind of the quick and dirty on this carburetor, so to speak. So, also, these come with a bowl nut with an Allen. I recommend not to use this because of the way that it's sealed here. to drain the carb out of, or to drain the gas out of the carburetor. I've seen these leak before, so I don't even worry about loosening those up. So I think it goes on like this. We're going to try and put it on now. That's a tight fit on this deck in particular. But that's it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tighten the screws back up. Remember, very, very carefully. And you're going upside down, so you'll turn them to the left, because that will be tightening them, unless you look down on it. Either one works. That back bolt's a little hard to get to. This is I just want to note that, like, if you have a Hyper Tough or a Murray or even like a Troy built or something along those lines that don't have this type 20-inch deck on it, you'll have a lot easier time with doing the carburetor this way than what I'm doing now. I'm just kind of learning that this is a little bit more difficult to do on these. But again, I'm trying to save y'all from having to take off the whole air filter assembly and then take off the carburetor and the linkage and whatnot. Because like I said, a lot of times they just need to be cleaned on that jet, and since that jet is sideways on this Briggs and it's facing outward, it's really, really easy to do, to clean out with just like a little paper clip or something of that nature. Alright, so let's do this. You just tighten it up either with your fingers or ratchets, just depends on what you can get up in there. Try and get as much with your fingers as you can. And then you can put this ratchet in and finish tightening it up the rest of the way. A little bit easier to get back there than a wrench too, I think. I might go with a wrench, what the heck. But either way, I won't let y'all watch me struggle with this. I'll get this on and then we'll give this thing a start. Alright, so little 10-minute carb deal there. Y'all think it'll start up now? I think it will. Unless it's going to fool me twice and it's kind of fouled the plug a little bit. But let's see. Let's try some encouragement here. It's trying to. It's really trying to. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the plug off. We're going to look at the condition of the plug, and then we will go from there. Like I said, I didn't see any water in the carb. Really not too much trash to speak of either. So I wonder if the plug's just a little bit fouled. Just pull the plug wire off. It's a standard plug. I'll get it off. We'll check the condition of it and clean it and see if that makes any difference. Alright, so I don't know if y'all can see this, but you see the plug's got a little bit of varnish on it. You see where it's got some trash or some unburnt fuel right there in between the these two parts here. I can't think of the terms right now. I guess the igniter and the little diode there. Means it wasn't getting any spark, so I just blew that out. Let's see what we got. See if we're getting any spark. If I can see any spark coming out of it. It's hard to like pull it and see if there's any spark coming out of it. Well. Stay. Yeah, we're getting some spark now, so I know that the spark is good. I don't know if I pulled y'all out of camera range, sorry. Times like these I wish I had a camera man. We're just putting the spark plug back in now. Now let's give it a shot. We know it's getting some sort of fuel because the plug was wet. That was more promising. More promising than it was. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give this plug a full cleaning. I will check the gas tank as well just to see how bad the gas tank looks in terms of water, but I didn't really see any issues with the gas. And I would figure that anything with gas would override it if it threw some spark or starter fluid in there. So I think it might just have like a little varnish in the cylinder or something along those lines where the spark plug is. Let's actually get down there so that y'all can see it while I work on it. So could be bad gas too. Yeah, some sort of varnish is still gumming it up because you can see it's gummed up again. Might throw some fluid in the cylinder there. Let me grab a quick wire brush. Clean off the plug a little bit. Kind of hoping that starter fluid will dry out any trash that it's got in there. If this doesn't work, I'm probably going to have to drain the fuel system on it. I could try a different plug just as a last ditch thing because I got tons of these plugs in here. But let's see if this makes any excuse me, any difference. It did not. One battle starting fluid. Tries to hit that one time, and that's it. So let me keep working on this thing. I'll tell you what I end up doing, and I'll let you know what's going on with it. Shouldn't be too much. I think if I can get it to kick over and run, it'll probably burn off all that crud and whatnot that may be in the fuel tank. I'll catch up with you. I'll let you know what the issue is. So I put a little brake cleaner in the cylinder hole to see if that would help dissolve any potential varnish or whatever that's getting caught up in between that cylinder there, or in that spark plug, excuse me. Let's see if it'll just crank off this. Not looking likely. Starting fluid one more time. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try a new spark plug, which I doubt will work. And then we're going to drain the fuel system. There must be some bad gas in it. Again, I was just trying for a quick, easy fix. Don't have more than 20 minutes invested in it right now, so, you know, it's alright. Alright, so we're going to remove the fuel tank on this. So what I'm going to do is there's 3 5/16 inch bolts there. We're going to take these off for the engine cover, and then we should just be able to pull the gas tank up. I've already disconnected the gas line from the carburetor. That's pretty easy to do. So let's do this. And the battery died. Let me grab the other battery. I'm going to need a smaller socket for that. Let me grab the smaller socket. I'll get this off and then we'll pull it out. Alright, got the last one out. And just pull it up from its mounts. Let me see if I can find my little gas tray, and then we'll see how bad this gas looks. Smells okay. Smells can be deceiving though. I'm going to empty out this gas tank, and then we'll go on to the carburetor here. I'll show you actually how to physically take off the carburetor. How to physically take it off next. It's really not too difficult, especially now that the gas tank's removed. We'll clean that carburetor out good. We'll put some fresh gas in it and see if we can get it rolling. So here's the air filter cover. There's 4 screws mounting it on. There's supposed to be 2 7mm right there where the carb plate is, and then where it mounts actually to the physical engine, it's supposed to be 2 5/16. Those are a little bit different because somebody messed around with it and didn't put them back in the right spot. So now I'm going to take the linkage off, or just pull the carburetor out then from the slide pins next. Oh, I don't think the carb got put back on right. I think these gaskets were not clicked back and sealed on correctly, so that might also have something to do with it. They just fit in just like this. The little rubber piece goes first, followed by the little click. The little white piece clicks right in there. Sorry, the carb is spilling gas. I'm going to drain the carb out, just like I did, except now it's off the mower. So, but the 7mm. We're going to spray some carb clean out, and then we're going to see if we can get this thing running. After we put it back together, of course. That's always fun. Sometimes my way ain't the best way, but we're rolling with it. Okay, we got it off. I'm going to spray some carb cleaner. You can actually take this whole jet out right here, which I just did. It looks to be in good shape. There's no holes clogged in it. The main jet hole looks good. I might blow a little bit of air in it just to make sure. I'm just going to throw a little bit of carb cleaner on this, and then I'll put it right back on. Y'all saw how I took it off. I'm just going to put it right back on and see if we can start, just so I can keep the length of this video short, since I'm trying to knock out 2 in 1 here. Alright, so let's see if that did anything. I'm not sure if it did. I'm wondering if that carburetor, if those gaskets on the back were causing a fuel air mix problem. That's possible. Let's give it a shot. First pull, how about now? Let's sit here and run for a few minutes. surged a little bit when I put that air filter cover on. I'll put y'all right here. Let's see if we can start it back up. Better. Gonna let it run for a little bit while I go get something to eat. Then we'll come back and revisit. We'll make sure this one's good, and we'll move on to the other one. Alrighty, y'all. Mower number 1 is ready. I'm just letting it dry. I've already taken pictures of it. Put gas. I'm gonna put gas back in it. I let the tank run dry. Put gas back in it, make sure it starts. If so, we'll go ahead and list it. Number 2 over here. It has, I don't know what kind of gas it's got in it, but he said he's been in the carburetor. Oh, it's got crud, water all in the gas. This thing won't run. Or maybe it might start and it'll probably start and sputter. I'll just put y'all down here real quick and we'll pull it. See what happens. It's not doing anything with that. Let me try a little starter fluid. We might have the same situation with this one. Just throw it straight down in there. It's got a lot of water in the fuel, so. Ran longer than I thought it was going to. That's kind of nice. got to clean it off a little bit. Well, we know that one runs. Like I said, I think there's just a little bit of water in the tank, which I can probably dilute some with some gas. Or I could just do the easy thing and take the gas tank off, which wouldn't take 5 minutes. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and take the gas tank off since I'm this close. 1/2 inch, 3/8 inch, pull the tank off. You just pull that arm off. We're going to dump the gas out and put some new gas in it. While I do that, I'm going to change the oil, and I'm going to sharpen the blade on it. And I'll probably go ahead and take some quick pictures of it too before it gets too dark. And then I am going to list both of them tomorrow. I'll show you all a final look. I'm going to do those 3 small things. Y'all seen me do it plenty of times. And I'll let y'all, I guess, see the end result of it. Again, 1/2 inch, 3/8 inch. You pull this off, you'll see on the carburetor like a little rubber and a plastic gasket. Make sure that stays in there. If it doesn't, click it back in. You'll take this arm off here. And like I said, I'm going to do an oil change and a blade sharpen, and I'll give you all a final look and start of both mowers. Turns out this one ended up being the easier one of the two, believe it or not. These old classics, there ain't much to them. These overhead valves, and they can be a little tricky sometimes. Like I said, I think it was the gasket. Somebody had been in this carburetor. I think it was the gasket on the back of it that was having the issue. So let me do the service on this one over here, and we'll do a dual final look and start. Alright, so I've got fading light, but I've got both of them out here. We're going to start both of them. And they're still a little wet, but they are clean. I got a little dirt on this one still, but that one was a lot dirtier than it was. It looks fine in the pictures. When people get here, they're going to understand it's going to be a little dirty. Final result, I hope to get between 70 and 80 for this one and 60 to 70 for that one. Again, I only have about 15 a piece in them, so that's a nice little $110 or so, roughly. About maybe 120. Depends on what I can get for them. Profit-wise, about 120 bucks. These will sell pretty quickly too. Again, easy fixes. This one right here, I think it was just, water in the fuel and whatnot. And I think this one right here, somebody had been in the carburetor and didn't put the gasket stuff back on it right. That's why it was causing it to try and hit really weird, because it wasn't getting the right air-fuel mix. And this one right here just basically had some water in the fuel. Even the diaphragm's good on it, which is you don't really see on these mowers, which is really good. Saved me a lot of time. Like I said, I got both of these ready probably in under 2 hours. So let me set y'all down, and we'll see if we can start and run both of these. And let's see, that one didn't even need an oil change or a blade sharpen. I had to change the oil and sharpen the blade on the 22 inch. So all right, we're going to do the 20 inch first. too. Awesome. That's great. I accomplished my goal, which I usually don't on a given night. 2 fixed lawnmowers that weren't running when I first started here about 2 hours ago. Should be quick turnarounds and kind of brothers, so to speak. Little brothers. Hope y'all enjoyed this kind of dueling mower episode. Let me know what you think about the classic versus the new style overhead valve. As you can see, it took a little bit more troubleshooting and work to get the overhead valve running than the classic, despite it being a much newer mower. So, let me give you all a final look at these. Nice little basic Bolens push mowers here in the heart of mower season. These things will sell really quickly. Like I said, probably get 70 to 80 for that one, 60 to 70 for that one, and it'll be good. So I appreciate y'all watching. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, see what I'm doing in real time, you can fetch me there at Ellis Mowers 09. Ellis Mowers 09. Or you can search Ellis Mowers in the search box, and that'll get you where you need to go. Thank y'all for watching this video. I'll catch you on the next one.